Hey there, I'm Chris Kroll, editor-in-chief of Solar Builder magazine. Customer acquisition costs can kill a solar company. It's not so much the marketing and generating that initial lead, but rather that the time and skill needed to accurately assess a home's solar potential. Instead of spending weeks with one customer before sufficiently understanding if they are a good candidate for solar, what if you could accurately assess an entire block in just a few minutes? Here to make the pitch today to do just that is EagleView Technologies VP of Solar, Pete Cleveland. Before we get into the game-changing solar assessment tool that you've just debuted called SolarReady, I was hoping you could judge my preamble up top there. How would you assess the current customer acquisition and soft cost challenges that solar installers face these days?
It's a persistent problem, Chris. I don't think, as an industry, I don't think we've seen the technological advancements or workflow evolution to really, bring those costs down. I think that problem is exacerbated now with the macroeconomics that we're facing with high interest rates and high dealer fees, right? But, soft costs, at the root of soft costs are labor and resources. So the more efficient that organizations can become, the more those soft costs can come down. I think, as an industry, we still have a lot of opportunity to improve there.
Okay, so enter EagleView Technologies. Quickly, what is the background of EagleView, and what are you bringing to the table in the solar industry?
Many of us know us for our high-resolution aerial imagery. We've been doing that since year 2000. But for over a decade, we've really focused on extracted data in the form of very accurate roof models or 3D models of homes that are used primarily in the insurance and the construction industries. Recently, within the last few years, we've taken that technology and focused on the solar use case, which isn't just about the 3D model of the home and a physical size, but you start to look at things like an accurate assessment of solar access values and shade analysis, right? Which in the solar industry can help mitigate site visits or cut down on contract change orders. So, over the last few years, we continue to sell 3D models of homes as, CAD files to feed plan sets. Our latest product prior to SolarReady is TrueDesign, and TrueDesign automates the solar design function. But with our level of accuracy, what it does is it enables a contractor to sell from an install-ready design, getting to install faster, having more of a source of truth to sell to that homeowner, promising on return on investment, electrical production, things like that. And with SolarReady is a data service that's powered by artificial intelligence that's extracting and learning information from our high-resolution aerial imagery. And now with this new technology, we can focus on areas of the workflow where partners in the ecosystem who don't necessarily need the highest level of accuracy, they need answers faster, and we develop SolarReady for that purpose.
So obviously there's a bunch of places on the internet where I can type in an address and, generate a decent idea of a home's solar potential, right? So I'm hoping you could explain the differentiators here and between what SolarReady is doing versus kind of what's more generally out there.
Yeah, it's going to come down to three primary items, Chris: geographic coverage, quality, and consistency. So when you think about image quality or high resolution aerial imagery, we're able to identify a great level of detail within our imagery, 70 times better than satellite. So to put that in like real terms, we can see a 1-inch vent on a roof, include that in SolarReady, and let you know you can't put a panel there. You're not going to see a 1-inch pipe vent from a satellite image. The level of quality gives us the ability to model out roof facets or mounting planes better, identify obstructions on that roof, and then create a shade analysis where we're actually looking at shade values or solar access values every 6 inches of every roof facet. This is all artificial intelligence derived. It's going to be very consistent how we're measuring, quantifying, and extracting all of this data and delivering it back to the end user. There's no human interpretation or manipulation involved here. So you're going to get a very high quality, consistent answer on 94% of single family residences in the US.
So there's obviously, I don't know, a lot of potential in what you just said there. Can you give us a little bit more insight into the actual underlying technology of how you're actually able to do this?
Yeah, it's really cool, Chris. So in an average of 90 seconds per address, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So what it really is going to first start with is identifying where the home is. Because we don't take just a single address. You can actually give me a geo-reference polygon and I'll find all the homes within that area. Once we identify the home, we're going to identify all the roof facets or mounting planes. So we're going to map out the geometry of them. Then we're going to identify any existing roof obstructions like pipe vents or fans. From there, we're going to see if there's an existing system already installed on that roof. Then we create a digital surface model around this entire structure, and then we record the shade values through ray tracing every 6 inches of every roof facet. It's a ton of data processing in there. We're not done yet. We're actually going to, at that point, take your criteria for what size module you want to use and some design rules or requirements, and then we're going to do a max module layout on every single roof facet on that home. And we record all of that in a table of data. So from the first solar module that fits on that roof to the last one that fits, we're recording what roof facet it's on, pitch, orientation, TSRF, kilowatt hour production. And then from there, just think about that table of data. You can look at this address and say, this homeowner uses 9,000 kilowatt hours. Well, then I can come back and tell you it's going to be a 6.97 kilowatt system that's going to produce 8,967 kilowatt hours annually, and then you're going to use these roof facets. So a lot of potential there, a lot of really cool processing behind the scenes.
Okay, so that really helps me, and I did get a sneak peek of this at RE Plus, and I could see the vision here. I could see how it could change a lot about solar prospecting. Explain to me what you find to be, in your mind, the especially impactful use cases for SolarReady.
So initially, we're really focused on empowering the residential solar contractor in a few different ways. So prospecting new territories. Where should I send my sales teams? Where should I, promote my marketing campaigns? Then it comes down to qualifying leads. You're a call center, you're a kiosk, or whatever it is, you get a lead, an inbound lead. Is this an opportunity I actually want to pursue and is good for my organization? And then the last piece, which gets into some really cool stuff, is near instant proposals. So when you need a price quickly, whether it's a website widget, a kiosk sale, or even a one-sit close for a door-to-door canvasser, you don't necessarily have time to wait to be able to put pricing together.
Let's drill down on that a little bit more. Can you give me a scenario to illustrate the point of how this could lower my customer acquisition costs and maybe how it might improve my profitability per job? Like, do you have estimates or things in mind there?
I mentioned it earlier, but a large portion of soft costs are related to resources and labor time. So with a limited number of resources, you want to make sure that they're focused on the projects and opportunities which are going to yield the best results. So right off the bat, very top of funnel, take the garbage leads out, put a level of focus for your canvassers, your marketing, or your sales team to really focus on the opportunities that you want to close. To give you a real life example there, your average door knocker, like a door-to-door canvasser, can knock 100 doors in a day. It's a lot. Now, do you want them to just knock on 100 random doors, or would you rather them knock on 100 doors that already qualify for solar, they're a good fit for solar, and it's a project that your company would actually want to go get? And that right off the bat, and if you just think about the downstreams effects of that, you're going to get higher quality, inbound leads into your organization. It all comes down, there's a fixed number of resources that organizations have. So focusing them on the projects that are going to yield the best results are going to drive down those soft costs.
Well, that is, so that's very enticing. So if I'm an interested solar installer, will I have to reach out to EagleView directly to access SolarReady? Or are there integrations with other software vendors or online marketplaces being established to kind of make this more of a ubiquitous tool?
Partnerships are extremely important and valuable to EagleView in all of our different industries that we serve. For SolarReady today, being that it's a brand new product, you do need to come directly to EagleView. Keep an eye out, though. We're consistently looking for partnerships and different platforms that we can plug into to really provide the most value to the end user and meet them where they're at.
So we're wrapping up this chat, but it's obviously the very beginning of SolarReady. I guess what's the future hold for this technology, and where you think it could go from here?
Initially, what I think of when you ask me that question is, this data service is powered by artificial intelligence. That technology is only going to improve and get faster. So we're sitting at about 80% accuracy to ground truth, and that's only going to get even closer and closer to ground truth as the technology improves. We deliver in an average of 90 seconds per address. Our time to deliver is going to be greatly reduced as time goes on. So this isn't about a single rooftop with SolarReady. It's about every rooftop with SolarReady as the technology improves. So initially, like I said, we're focused on empowering residential solar contractors for top of funnel sales and marketing activities. But we're already looking into and testing different use cases like Think about a utility who needs to manage their grid or start to model out the deployment of renewable energies and what that might look like. Other use cases include things like direct-to-consumer models. Now, even if it's not a click-to-buy scenario, consumer education is extremely important in this industry to really improve the validity and deployment, again, of solar technologies. So even if it's just website widgets or kiosk sales that are providing education to homeowners on why they may or may not be a good fit for solar.
Pete, I know that you were, originally on the installation side of the business way back when, right? For installers out there watching this, can you anticipate any other holes that they might want to poke in this, or something that maybe I haven't got at that, just from your background and people you talk to, that they're still going to be like, okay, that sounds really great. Everything sounds really great in a video in the pitch, but he should have asked this, and I want to know about that.
I think the solar industry is very trained that to obtain a solar module design, a human needs to start to play with rectangles on a roof. And that's something I would challenge. I don't think that's a hole. I don't know that, we necessarily need humans to play with rectangles on a roof to get to a solar design. There's some rules and parameters that a system can follow, and that's what we're using. So with this data service, it doesn't require, manual placement of rectangles on a roof through a computer interface, right?
I'm especially interested to see if SolarReady can maybe clean up problems that we see in solar sales. Like just recently, Time Magazine covered this growing issue and painted the industry in a little bit of a bad light. How the industry can churn out half-assed solar designs, which lead to half-assed installs, and it just makes everyone look bad, right? And I'm wondering if that's on your mind at all. Like, do you see SolarReady as a way to cut out even the ability to manufacture a half-assed sale from the beginning?
Especially with the popularity growing on third-party owned finance options. There's a lot of scrutiny and risk associated with electrical production and system size, not only for the homeowner, but whoever's holding the note, So it's absolutely something that we think of. And the positioning that I think of here for SolarReady is becoming that unbiased third-party source of truth for, say, a finance company to use SolarReady as a service to verify design or production values that are coming into them from maybe a number of different sources. So again, when you think of quality and consistency, we are an unbiased third-party source of truth in that manner. There is no human manipulation. We don't have a dog in the fight. Whatever the imagery shows is what we're going to report on. So I absolutely see an opportunity here in the future to improve the validity of solar design, production estimates, promises on returns on investment, and even just de-risking, some of the profiles associated with third-party owned systems.
Just very interesting to me. And I just thank you for taking the time to stop by and make the pitch today, Pete.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Always good to see you, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.